Hello everybody, this is RBR Short Films 13, aka Ryan, and today I'm doing a video, basically news on a lot of things, multiple things. I'm gonna collide this all into one video instead of doing separate ones, because I'm very hard at work with editing the Miner versus Jason GhostFace story, so doing both at the same time, it would be like 3 videos, so I'm going to do it all in one. First bit of news, the hugest news is Jamie Lee Curtis is coming back to Halloween. I know, it is a huge shock. I know that she talked about that she would come back. I remember she had a convention she went to in 2012. It was like a one event to meet Jamie Lee Curtis. And she said that she would do it as long as it was a big check, and they must have paid her a lot to get her back, but I think because Scream Queens failed and, really her career isn't really going anywhere, this is the perfect chance for her to, get back on top and, be the biggest, horror female heroine icon, like Jamie Lee Curtis is Halloween. Same with Donald Pleasance and Nick Castle and all these people that worked on it, Dean Cundy and John Carpenter, and it goes on and on. But Jamie Lee Curtis brought so much to that role, which is what blew me away. That she just played this simple girl in high school, and then how well she played Laurie in the second movie, that she was, she went through, surgery, and she's all drugged up, and, she can barely walk, and, Michael Myers could appear anywhere, and she had that great acting to where you felt like Michael Myers could appear at any time. And then H2O, was a great comeback. I thought she did a great job in that. She had a son in the movie. There was so much potential in that storyline, and then they kind of just, whoop, with Resurrection. Now I know not everybody's a fan of the Halloween remakes. They easily could have been better movies for sure. They could have been much better. And that's specifically because we want the shape. We want that old John Carpenter atmosphere and stuff. But Rob Zombie's Halloween was the first Halloween film I ever saw in the theater. So it was a big special event for me, because to be able to see Michael Myers on the big screen for the first time and to hear that music was amazing enough for when I saw that. And I remember, like, it was packed. People were standing in line. Everybody was just like excited, like Michael Myers is back, Halloween's back, and so many people were disappointed with his sequel. I prefer his sequel over the first film, but that's my own opinion. I love Rob Zombie's H2. You guys can get mad at me all you want. I don't care. I love Halloween 2, Rob Zombie's version, especially the director's cut. It's kick-ass. It's kick-ass. It shows how people would really be after Michael Myers would do all those things. Like, if victims that would survive and their PTSD, that's PTSD. People cussing and losing it, and, and just a mess. Them having these scars and, all these regrets they have, and, how they changed their lives because they don't want to be who they used to be. It's real, I think if Rob Zombie would have took out all the F-bombs, people would have liked it more. And I agree that he should have cut down on the F-bombs, but I still love the movie, and it's fun to watch all the Halloween films. But what's going to be so great about this with Jamie Lee Curtis is that you can watch the original film all the way to this new one, and basically it would feel like Halloween 9, even though it's not Halloween 9. It's as close as we're going to get, to Halloween 9, and with John Carpenter's involvement and everything, with Jamie Lee Curtis in it, this is as close we're going to get to a Halloween 9 forever, and so let's all just enjoy this, be excited for this, that we can watch Halloween, Halloween 2, Halloween 3, 4, 5, Curse, H2O, Resurrection and the new Halloween film. You know, I mean, that's like 1 to 9 kind of thing. You know, it's really exciting to celebrate this 40-year thing. I mean, this is exciting. You know, John Carpenter and Jamie Lee Curtis back. I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis tried to get John Carpenter when they were making H2O, and he said no. So the fact that he's coming back as executive producer, a creative consultant, music composer, I mean, that is like amazing. You know, he's going to be overviewing the director, you know, and exactly, you know, how to get the shape right and the cinematography. And I really hope they can get Dean Cundey back as a cinematographer. I mean, who else would they pick, right? I mean, if you want that old atmosphere, you know, Halloween, you know, that panning, you know, get Dean Cundey. That picture that they showed of Jamie Lee Curtis, you know, where she's standing and the shape is behind her, that looked very much like Dean Cundey's cinematography. So that was incredible releasing that photo. So I'm very excited for that. Second part of news, here we go. The classic GhostFace Mask is back. I was choking up really bad yesterday when I read the news. I saw the picture. And now this morning they revealed a behind the scenes still of the filming of season 3, Scream, the TV series season 3. They revealed the GhostFace Mask. And that is like, oh my god, guys! Like, they should have had this mask in the first 2 seasons. The mask, Ghostface being Ghostface now, it automatically makes this the best season. I'm sorry, you know, you can't have Scream without that Ghostface mask. And even though I love the original, I love the show mask from the first 2 seasons, I love that mask as well. I really do. But it doesn't compare to Ghostface, you know. I mean, the history of that mask, all the fan films I've made, you know, I mean, that mask is so iconic, you know, and what is Scream without that mask, you know? So, yeah, I mean, I think it's a great thing that they're exploring the diversity and expanding it with the show, that they're breaking new grounds in that sense, and they're bringing Scream more into reality. It's not just, you know what I mean? Like, I like the diversity because it feels more real to me, you know, because we live in a very diverse time, you know, and to see the, you know, brand new characters that have different elements and layers to themselves that you would never think that a show would bring and would develop these characters. So I think it's really great that they're doing something different, and it's exciting because they have the Vampire Diaries writer as a showrunner, and I'm sure he's cooking up some great storyline, you know. I hope that they get directors from the previous 2 seasons back to direct the new season. I like that it's a 6-episode thing because we all see how season 2 went with 14 episodes, you know, that it all dragged out, and, you know, they would introduce these new plot holes, and then you know, they wouldn't complete the plot hole, you know. So I think it's a incredible start, again, you know, to go back to the way Scream used to be, and I think that in terms of Ghostface Mask, and I would say diversity, because if you watch Scream 2 and you watch Scream 3, you know, it was way more diverse than the first film, and even Scream 4, you know, I mean, it wasn't as diverse as the second and third film, but, you know, the Scream has always been about, you know, just expanding that, you know, because Scream can happen, you know, I mean, that can happen in this world. So the more the characters feel more real, you know, the more you know, the story is intense, you know, and I don't know how this season's gonna go. It could easily suck, but at the same time, this could be really great. This could be the best thing to happen to Scream for so long. Ghostface is back, guys, you know, and I am so happy to see that mask again. I'm so happy to see that mask. And it's not the Scream 4 mask, but it reminds me of like one of the older masks, but it's not like older mask. It seems like 2005, 2006, 7 mask around there. But it looks awesome, you know, and he's got the robe. I mean, it's just amazing, you know. I mean, Ghostface, you know. Ghostface is gonna be Ghostface finally. Like Wes Craven always wanted, you know, when he was working on the show early on, he said that he just wanted Ghostface to be Ghostface. He wanted MTV to let Ghostface be Ghostface. And finally they're letting Ghostface be Ghostface. And that is a very strong, good sign for this series. And, you know, it's always possible that this show could turn around and be great. You know, even with this, a brand new storyline, you know, I think it has loads of potential. So I'm very much excited for that. And Ghostface Mask, it's back. Final, third one is my review of It. It's not going to be a long review, but, you know, it's just basically a summary. I've seen this movie twice. It's amazing. The audience I've been with, you know, have responded to it through laughs, through jump scares. You know, it's such a, you know, intense audience experience, you know, because there's multiple different reactions, you know. And I thought the actor that played Pennywise did a great job. The kids in it did a good job. The parents, I mean, the parents and the adults in that movie and the bullies were scarier to me than Pennywise himself. I don't know. I think because it's Stephen King. If you've read the novel, It, you know, the bullies and the parents and the people in that town, I mean, they're more vicious and scary than Pennywise. Even though Pennywise eats people, you know, these people are very psychological to these kids and to the town, you know, and the fact that they ignore the events that happened is really, you know, interesting. I like that they split it into two films, the novel, because it's such a long book, you know. I mean, how do you make that one movie, you know? It has to be two films that are long. I hope the next film is 3 hours, you know. I thought even this one could have been longer, you know. I mean, it was such an intriguing story. I love the characters, and you really sympathize with a lot of the characters, you know. And the opening, that sewer opening, you know, was just so intense and scary, you know. I mean, they jumped right into it, but, you know, when Pennywise bites Georgie's arm off, and he's like, you know, Georgie, you see him like crawling away, and, you know, I mean, with his one arm, and he's bleeding through the other one, and that acting, his acting was really good. You really believe he was, you know, bleeding out, and that rain, and just the cinematography, like, it was so intense, and that music, that score, whoever did the music for that movie deserves an Oscar nomination for this movie. You know, the music and cinematography, I think the movie worked the best in terms of cinematography and music, and makeup effects. I think all three of those could get Oscar nominations, including Bill Skarsgård. I hope I pronounced his name right. I think that he could get a Oscar nomination, you know, or at least a Golden Globe nomination. I mean, he was phenomenal in this movie, you know. He was scary, he was funny, and he was mysterious. You don't know everything about Pennywise yet, you know. I just think that it was a very fun movie. It didn't have as much of a body count, as big of a body count as I thought it was going to have. There was a couple there was one of the kills that was sort of off screen, and I was just like, okay, all right. I think that a lot of the movie was cut from. I think a lot of footage was cut from the movie. I know there's tons of deleted scenes, and then now they've confirmed that there's going to be a director's cut for it, which is really exciting, you know, because I know there's tons of footage they did not put in there, you know, and I think that a story like this, two films like this, deserve director's cuts, you know. They're like half-hour longer, you know, I mean, because this is such a long book and so much story to flesh out with these characters and everything, you know, and it was just a great entertainment viewing. I didn't love the movie, but I really liked it. I think there was a few jump scares that they overdid, you know, but to me it was better than the original miniseries, even though there were things that I did like about the TV movie series, and I loved Tim Curry's performance, you know. it doesn't hold up, you know, sadly, you know. I mean, it was effective when I was a kid, you know. I was, you can call me the early 2000s kids, even though I was born in 95, but I remember watching it, you know, I think when I was 8 or 9, and it was like one of the scariest things. That opening is what terrified me, you know. I couldn't get past the opening when I first watched it, you know. It wasn't until 2 years after that to where I actually finished the movie. I watched the whole thing, and it was too scary for me the first time I watched it. You know, just the early 90s to come up with something that thrilling, you know. I just think Stephen King created a very, very good book. It has flaws in it for sure, but obviously it's great to adapt as long as the novel is adapted right into film, you know. And I think they did a great job. I mean, I'm really wowed by it, you know, because it easily could have sucked. We have all these remakes, horror remakes, all the time. It was about time that there was a horror remake that deserved to be made and was necessary, you know. All the other horror remakes that they've made was all been unnecessary. Even Rob Zombie's Halloween, even though I like that movie, Halloween didn't have to be remade at all, you know. And what's so great about it is that the movie didn't try to be worse than the TV movie, you know. It tried to be better, and it tried to focus on the story of the kids, you know, instead of jumping back and forth with the adults and the kids, you know. You can focus on one coherent story, you know, and that is what is the most successful element, I think, of the film, including the humor and the drama and the soul that it has in that film, you know. And I cannot wait for it, Chapter 2, and yeah, that's my video, guys, today, about the Scream Mask returning. No, Jamie Lee Curtis coming back to Halloween, the Scream Mask coming back, you know, in Scream, period. And the third, you know, my little review of it. I hope everybody enjoyed the video. I'm going to, in the future videos, you'll see a review of that Leatherface movie that's coming out. I'm going to be making a review of that. And then when Cult of Chucky comes out, I'll do a review of that. And Jigsaw, I'll do a review of that. Probably Happy Death Day. That one looks really good. I'm going to definitely probably do a review of that when I see that. And yeah, I mean, you know, so it is the most exciting time as a horror fan right now to me. I mean, I have been waiting for years for so many of these movies, and finally they're here, and it is out of this world, you know, and I'm so happy that us horror fans can enjoy these films we've been waiting forever, you know. We can just enjoy them for what they are, enjoy the entertainment viewing, and that's what I love about movies, you know, the most. It's just that they're fun, the ones that are great movies, you know, that they're fun films, and, you know, you just go into a world that's not in reality. You know, you just, you know, you go to a different place for a while, and you get those jump scares and the thrills, you know. That's what we love, you know. It's just to be scared, to be thrilled, you know, and that will never go away, you know. I mean, us horror fans love that, you know, just being scared, you know, because if you're not scared by a movie, you know, it didn't do its job, you know. Even if one moment frightened you, you know, then, you know, the movie did succeed in one element, you know. So, yep, that was my video for today. I hope everybody enjoyed, and I will talk to you all very, very soon. Alright, peace.